We are tonight's entertainment.
I'm currently serving as the 19th Air Force Command Chief.
Jessica Player.
Joe Bass here. Excited to be with the unpopular celebrities.
I'm Tish, and a lot of people call me PJ, founder of Life of a Military Child.
Andy Gilbert. I'm CE by trade, but I'm everybody's Aaron.
Christy Wiener, and I'm an aviation resource manager by trade. I am just like Andy, and I'm a people leader. You don't have to be an airman, but let's just go.
My name is Caitlin Jones Martin, and I'm a Master Sergeant in the Air Force.
I'm Paul Mendoza, 5th degree Master Black Belt in Shotokan Karate, 3rd degree Black Belt in Gracie Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Staff Sergeant Darian Donald, all Air Force basketball legend.
Y'all know him as the fired up chief. We know him as the fired up chief. Some know him as Chief Juan Lewis.
Oh, hero, I'm doing fine. But first of all, man, let me go ahead and throw a little love, man. That little introduction y'all had was dope, man.
I'm Hope Skibitsky. I am the Command Chief of the Air Force Installation Mission Support Center.
Without further ado, retired Senior Master Sergeant
JCH.
Jason Holloman, if we can get...
Long-time listener, first-time caller. You know, I appreciate what you guys are doing, and I listen to every episode.
Chief Blaze and Chief KC.
First name Noel, last name Pius. First Sergeant, part of the Diamond family.
What's going on? Landell Brown, these two unpopular celebrities.
I'm Tara Opalowski. Angela Baker Creary, author, clothing designer, executive producer.
Carlos Filmmaker, been doing it for 15 years. Like feature films, short films, music videos, the whole nine.
CMS Sergeant retired, Luz Hollis.
Hello, now it's just Miss Tara Opalowski.
Right, so my name is Shelton Pinckney, but I go by Combat Kid.
Unpopular celebrities, I was like, okay, like I love to be on words, but like when I started to hear and see what you all are doing, like I love it. And I love it because you all are not afraid to talk about things that we need to be talking about.
Thank you for allowing me to come on your guys' platform. I appreciate the love, man. I appreciate the jokes, the energy. This was awesome, man. So this was good to kind of have that refreshing conversation with two very intelligent individuals. So thank y'all for that.
Thank you guys, Mike and Pete, for having us on here. I love you both.
Appreciate y'all and what y'all are doing. Unpopular celebrities. Thank you both for allowing us to tell our story and talk about our book.
Thank you guys for having me, Dominic. You know, I love you, man. You've been always a big part of my family. So, man, I'm really proud of seeing what you're doing in your life, and I'm just happy to see you doing stuff, man.
All right, PU and Big Bite, man. First of all, let me offer my sincere appreciation for having me on the show, man. You guys do what you love what you do, and keep putting your message out there with the show because your message right there is inspiring, man. I enjoyed this podcast, and you know what? You guys exceeded my expectations, man, because the one thing I told y'all, like, hey, man, don't waste my time. Let's keep it real.
I appreciate y'all for having me on here, man. It's a good experience. This is like my first time, like, actually on, like, a Facebook Live type thing. Like, it's dope.
I appreciate y'all hitting me up, man. Some great conversations. I definitely watch y'all's episodes, man. So anytime, man, y'all want me to jump on, hit me up, and I'm always down. Keep doing what y'all doing, though, man.
It's entirely my privilege. I really appreciate you guys having me out. It was a ton of fun.
Pete, Mike, always a pleasure, man. The way you guys have ascended in your programming, man. This is always a great venue to talk about anything, whatever you want, and it's no holds barred. I love it, man. Appreciate it. Keep doing what y'all doing. Unpopular celebrities.
Gotcha.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8,
Good morning, afternoon, good evening, wherever y'all at. What's up with y'all? Yo, first of all, shout out to Kenneth Barclay, man, for talking about the intro, man. Appreciate it, man. Dope. Appreciate the support. Philly Council, man, in the comments, but not live. Hey, yo, see you, man. Eagles 2-0. Yeah, nobody cares. All right, man. What's good, man? Landale, what's the word, man?
Chilling. You know, Sunday, man. This weekend went by fast, but I'm glad to do. Yeah, I'm glad to be here with the show with Big Mike back in the building. Busy man.
What's up,
over here.
man?
What's
Bro,
going on?
Busy with a capital B-U-S-Y, all 4 letters capital, man. But yeah, with 2 exclamation points, man. But what's up, man? I see you was busy too, man. You know what I mean? Shirt. I don't know if I should call him Pete. Maybe we should call him Shirt right now.
Man. I'm like a cubic zirconium, man, like a fake diamond.
That's a good one. I like that.
I like that might look tired as fuck, bro.
Hey,
early
man.
out there for the kid.
It's 9:10, man. I got back in late, bro. I even tried to get some Folgers in my cup earlier, but that ain't even that ain't even working. Hey, that ain't no plug though. I'm just want to let y'all know.
Yeah, man. I'm like a sleeveless shirt, man. I'm not really a shirt, just like
sleeveless shirt.
Yeah, man.
You're a tank top. You're a tank top.
Yeah, pretty much, man. But trying to get right, man. Cubic zirconia. Yeah, whatever, man. You hater. But yeah, yeah, man. Etheridge, what's up, man? I see you up in here, but God dang it. How's everybody doing though?
Good, man.
Hey, cool, man. Just maintaining. You already know. Maintaining, trying to take care of everything and anything all the time. You know.
Yeah, man. Your camera is like crystal clear, man.
This thing is called, I don't even want to pronounce it, man. Just know that it's a new camera. That's what I'm saying. I ain't even going, I don't know what country it came from. I don't know who, none of that. I'm just new.
That's clear.
That's what it is right there. That's it.
Yo,
you can see the little gray hairs at the bottom, man. You know,
yeah. Yo,
my wisdom whiskers. What's up?
Yeah, my boy. I'm trying to bring it up, man. Stop talking, DC. My boy Sean Etheridge, man. He aspiring comic, man. So y'all go show him support. He out of Virginia, man. So he should be coming to a show, man. Check him out on his Facebook page, man. That's where you can reach him at. But aspiring comic, man, funny as fuck, bro. But go ahead and check him out. Hope we can get him on the show sometime soon, man. That dude's so damn funny. But shout out to him, man.
He got a Facebook page or something?
Yeah. He follows us on the page, Mike, so you can see him on there. But if not, man, yeah, you can see him right there. There goes his thing. You just find that name. But anyway, man,
it's always good to have some good comedy, you know.
Yeah. That, bro, funny as fuck, bro. One of the funniest dudes I ever met, for real. You better you're a freaking
coming. I don't even know.
I don't even know what that says.
Yeah.
Oh, comic Pete. What?
Oh,
I still don't fucking get it.
He must got the little QWERTY keyboard right now. Maybe he got a flip phone in his hand.
I don't know what. I know he's in Philly right now. Maybe it's, so when you get on that plane, man, you can't communicate properly, man. His time zone's all toe up and everything. But I know he just got back from AFA, man. Shout out to anybody who got a chance to go to AFA. And I know he put that post up. When he gets back on, hopefully next week, he'll talk about that thing that happened with Chief Tolbert.
I'm mad he's not on here because you already know that kind of conversation. That'd be up by alley. I'm mad here. I was getting ready. I had it up on my phone. I ain't even gonna lie to you because I thought it was dope. But I'll leave it alone. If we wait for Philly to come talk, I'll leave it alone.
Yeah, I know he wants to kind of talk about it. So hopefully we get into it next week when he can get on. But it looked like one of the realest conversations to be publicized at one of those events. Of course, I wasn't there, but that's what it looked like. Why you keep doing that? All right, whatever. I'm not a real shirt. All right, move on. Here we go. Keep moving. Freaking hater.
Man. But, what's up, though, man? What's happening there on the loop side, man?
Man, the heat finally calming down a little.
Yeah.
Just So we still in the hundreds, but it's like baby hundreds. It's not like 115 no more. But
yeah, under 110. So that's good.
Yeah, so that's first and foremost, man. It's cooling down very, very slowly. It seems like when it heats up, it's like 80 one day and then 100, and then you're in hundreds for 6 months. But cooling down seems to take a little longer. But that's it, man. 2023 flying by, man. September been going on really slow, but man, it's almost over.
It's already the 17th.
Yeah, I feel like it's going slow for me. I don't know about y'all, but it feel like going slow.
It's fast for me. I told you I'm in these Panama 12, boy. Hey, listen.
Them shits hurt, bro.
Hey, I thought I was an OG with 12 hours. Hey, them 8 hours will spoil the hell out you, man.
Yeah.
Hey, it's more like 16 hours, to be honest with you.
You already know, bro. Especially being in charge, bro. Everybody think that you got the easy shit. Hell no.
For real. Not at all. Now you gonna earn your paycheck.
You already know, bro, but especially day shift, because man, you be at work for 5 hours, then everybody get to work, and then they want to hit you with all kinds of shit. Like, I've been at work for 5 freaking hours.
I've been at work for 5 hours. You just sticking your toe in the door. I'm already I'm already grinding. You know what I'm saying? At 100 miles an hour, bro. Yeah, man.
So that's just, man. I mean,
but my day's been flying. My day's been flying because of that. You know what I'm saying? Day's been flying because of that.
Well, it's good. It's good they flying by. But I know it's tough, man. But shout out to everybody working them 12s, man. Ooh,
what y'all think though, man? I mean, we've been talking about recruiting, right, and retainment and everything else, right? So of course that's gonna hurt us as a SF world. So I see more and more units, man, going back to 12. What's y'all opinion? I think that might be the thing. I don't know if 8's gonna be the thing for a little longer, man. What y'all think on that?
Yeah, I think let me get my boy Blossom in here. He a security forces and a recruiter now, so maybe get more insight from him. But yeah, I think that's with like priority mission AFSCs like us and maintainers, like with the lowest numbers we got, the harder it's going to be on us as a whole. And going into 12s, I haven't been in 12 since 2014. So when I get back, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna be gray hair first week.
Hey, I'm telling you, man, you better prep yourself. You better just be at home, take leave, and then work 12 hours while you're on leave at home.
Yeah. I'm gonna try. Man, I'm gonna try to better myself. For real, man. Every single time I hear these cats talking about them 12, like, damn, I'm about to come back to that. I'm getting spoiled over here in CE.
Hey, we all been spoiled for the last couple of times. What you about to say?
Shit, not me. I just got out them things, but man, I'll tell you. But you know what's funny, man, or it's interesting you say that because a lot of people look at the Panama schedule as only looking like half the month, right? And everybody doesn't know. You can look at the Panama schedule. It's kind of hard to understand, but it's the amount of hours and where you're at that makes the days long. Not being able to leave and just go chop it up with some people or just go off base for a second, get your mind right or whatever, come back and an hour later. It's not like that, man. So you stuck at a gate, you stuck at wherever you stuck at that, and then out there dealing with the elements. I don't care where you at, you dealing with elements, right? I don't care where you at.
Whatever, wet,
Yeah, whether it's humidity, heat, even if it's 80 degrees perfect, man, you're still dealing with the elements. And then on top of that, for our security forces, cat wearing gear and all that stuff. So it drags on you. It's like doing a 12-hour workout. It really is. That's the way I equate it to. It's like if you did a 12-hour workout, could you come back up, wake back up the next morning, do another 12-hour workout?
Yeah. And when you say wake back up the next morning, hey, bro, I get up. I'm gonna tell you. I think I told y'all a couple of weeks ago when I first got out here. I got roosters around my house. You know what I'm saying? Like it's roosters out here just crowing. Bro, I get up before the roosters start crowing, bro. Like by the time he crowing, I'm already at work.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? You talking 2:30 in the morning. I'm like, God, you know what I mean? Like just a minute. Like, you know, it is what it is. But I tell you, the 12s are no joke, man.
I'm put up this comment for Philly because he's one of the ones I'm talking about, man. 12s are a necessary evil. It's well known no AFC has enough personnel to do their mission. I actually don't mind 12s. You get more time off than 8s. So
I actually didn't mind 12. Put it back up there.
Yeah, he said. I think he said don't or didn't. Yeah, didn't mind 12 because you. So when I say 8s and Pete, chill out, UFS, I get it. I get it. I get it. So when you talk about 8s, right? If you're talking about Panama to Panama, you're right. I mean, you're wrong on that. If you're talking about like a 6 and 3/8 compared to a Panama 12s, then yes, you get more time off. I get it. But back to my analogy. Could you do a 12-hour workout, wake back up, and do another 12-hour workout?
It's the hours, yeah.
That's what gets you. Let me clarify, Panama. I got you. But that's what the killer is. That nobody that doesn't do it can't wrap their heads around that.
Yeah. But I get for us though, mentally we've been there before, right? So it's like, all right, let me tune my brain back to what I know. I mean, because when we first came in, we all was in 12s. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I was in 6 and 3/8 when I first came in.
When you first came in, really?
Yeah, I was in Japan. We were in 6 and 3/8, and then we quickly shifted to 12s like 3 months later. But
when I first came in, it was still a dope schedule to me. It was we was in 3 and 3, about 3 on 3 off. 12.
Oh, right. With the training day.
Well, yeah, I'll be honest. I don't even know what the training day was back then. Like,
you know what? Because we did OJT.
Yeah. Right. So I remember I remember it was like sporadic, and I can't tell you what that rotation was. I was there, but I wasn't paying no attention to what that was. I just knew be where I was supposed to be when I was told to be there. But for the airmen that came in from the gate and don't know nothing but 8 for years at a time, I can see I visually saw the transition in them. Like it wasn't easy. You know what I mean? Like, and it's our job to get up there and constantly motivate them and try to be optimistic about it. Make sure they know, hey, this is how you take care of yourself. We're here to take care of you. What we're supposed to be doing, of course. But man, to see them in that transition is different. It's definitely different. Why it wasn't as easy for us because again, we were our brain was already tailored to it.
Right.
Analogy. Am I the only one know this piece?
Vocabulary been the same. Our vocabulary been the same. Prince, what's up, man?
What's up?
Retired.
Retired.
Add that to your Facebook title, man. Retired.
Oh yeah.
Congratulations too.
Yeah.
Hope everything's good, and I hope you're still cooking or bring some to Lucas.
Oh yeah.
What are we saying? Like
doing her rounds. Yeah. She doing her. Hey, hit her up. I'll plug her in. Season Poetically on IG. Put your meals in by 2 p.m. on Saturday, I think it is, and she'll get it out to you.
Go ahead and type your URL in the chat so that people can see it.
We'll put that up there so everybody can
drop it in. Yeah, put it in there.
I know Dale keeps talking about these pinned comments. I don't know how to do that on here.
Oh yeah, pinned comments. Oh yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I know you can do it on Facebook. I don't know if you can do it on the Melon.
Yeah, but next time get somebody show up a bat signal or something, give me some kind of love. I know I'm in the building, no windows. Can you give me some kind of love? Show me a Teams message or something.
Y'all crazy, man. Hey, y'all know I ain't no sports fan. Y'all know I don't follow sports like that or whatever. But I've been trying to dibble and dabble in this whole Deion Sanders movement. Man, hey, that man ain't no joke, bro. I watched the game yesterday.
Oh yeah.
This team came back and bro, I'm like, man, this dude really serious. He really serious about this coach.
Let's pause on that.
He might make
pause on that. So because Prince put up her stuff, so there go what Dale was talking about right there. So y'all take a picture, come back and review it, however you want to do it. There it is, right there. And y'all go.
Y'all check that out.
Yeah, get some support. Real good food. Yeah. And then Fake Donovan, going back on this point we put up. Mike or Dale, can one of y'all read that?
I got you. General Brown once said that the best asset for any warfighter is resilience. So whether it's shift work or returning from COVID, your SFS fam had continued to impress at 3F1. Love y'all. Appreciate that.
Man,
appreciate that.
So much love.
But she right. It's more about that resilience word is serious, man. It's more the mental piece. You know what I mean? Like, if you can get people to wrap their head around it, like, all right, I got to be here. Let me find a good in it. That's it. You know what I mean? The rest of it's going to kind of follow through. I guess the big part too, like you said, Pete, you can't just dip off somewhere and kind of relax. You want to post. So the big thing is, hey, you got to be prepared. You know what I mean? You got to bring food. You got to have water. You got to have this, that, and the third.
Yeah, exactly.
You out there, right?
Mike, you bring up a good point because preparation causes time, and you can't prepare while you're at work. So when you get off, you got to prepare, and that starts dipping into your sleep.
To your sleep, to all of that, man. So, and we implemented different ways to kind of circumvent that beast. Having a relief post, having somebody kind of drive around, relieve people, swap posts when we can. It's not a consistent because you got people, medical appointments, this, that, and the third, all that kind of stuff. But to try to circumvent as much as possible, man. But I do shout out to all the airmen that haven't seen them 12s and then moved into them 12 and rocking and rolling, bro. Because it ain't no pump. I tell you that much. It ain't no pump. You can see it in their eyes.
Yeah, ain't that nice. But you talk about Colorado, so it's funny because Philly said something like, "Can we talk about the Buffalo game?" Same thing.
Yeah.
How many in the comments are Colorado Buffalo bandwagons? Bandwagon hoppers. Yeah, that's hard to say. I'm a bandwagon hopper.
Hey, I don't even watch football, and I am. I'm telling you, like right now, I might mess around and tie their schedule in my phone so I can see the game or something.
They got it on prime time now. So back then them games were showing like on local networks. Now they got ESPN, FS1 now. So he definitely elevated the culture on that.
Shout out to all of them, man.
Yo, Miss King.
Hey, can we talk about what Mark Jones said?
Hold on real quick, and then we'll go. Miss King, thank you for the 50 stars that you just sent. If y'all want to go on Facebook and send those stars up there. So it doesn't show on here, but it shows on my end. So thank you for the stars. Appreciate that. Go ahead, Doug.
Yeah. So Mark Jones, he's a commentator. And soon as because the game, the Tennessee Florida game kind of bled into the actual game. And then so as soon as it came on, he was like, let me go ahead and pull this up. He said the atmosphere in the stadium is crazy. It kind of feels like a sports game and the BET Awards.
Oh, damn. Well, I know they had Lil Wayne on there. They had Lil Wayne.
They had Lil Wayne there. Offset there. What's that dude's name from Memphis? Key Glock or Atlanta? I don't know where he's from, but that was the first thing he said. So he gave a little controversy with that comment.
Yeah. Hey, man. What I say earlier, words are powerful, man. Words are definitely powerful.
But I'll tell you, man, like it's crazy. So two things about the culture he created. I think he's done a good job, but let's not negate the fact he brought in, I think it's 40-something recruits of people he personally knows or has a relationship with. So it's not like he took the team from last. I'm not taking any shots at Dion or not taking anything from the team. But when you could put your squad together and you're successful, it's like showing up to the court with your 5 and then running the table. It's like y'all have chemistry together. Y'all run together. I'm not taking anything away from what he's doing or what the kids are doing. But that's something that no other coach has been able to do, has bring in 40 recruits.
And coaches.
But had they been stopped or have they just not done it?
That's a great question.
That's the thing. And then again, I'm when y'all be talking sports, man, I try to equate it to what I know. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. Have somebody said y'all cannot do this, or have they just not done it? Right? Because when I hear that, it's like I'm looking out for people. I'm looking out for people that I know first and foremost, right? And I'm looking at building relationships with people that I've already, or strengthening relationships that I already built with. People that I already built relationships with. Versus I'm going here to do what I can do and show off my capabilities, and I ain't worried about the people that I know, from before. You know what I'm saying? So when I see that, it's like Dion said, I got relationships with these people. I want to see them grow. I'm bringing them with me. These other coaches said, oh, I got this opportunity. I'm looking out for me. I'm gonna go see what I can do. That's how I equate that. Nobody stopped them from bringing 40 recruits and taking them with me and continuing to further our relationship. They chose not to. So you can't be mad at him for saying we talk about it all the time, right? Let's equate. It's leadership. What's different from this right now but leadership? Because we always say, hey, if you're doing something good and you know it's gonna make you better, bring people with you. Don't just go get that good opportunity and you leaving everybody behind. You trying to see what you can do with it, but you ain't worried about what nobody else can do with it. That's how I see it. That's how I see it.
I'm not taking anything from him. I'm not.
No, I'm not saying you are. Yeah.
Okay. Let me get to this. What Chief Counsel? Can somebody read that one? Yeah.
How about the impact Primetime has made on Colorado? Hey, Philly, get it together over there. That he must have wrote that in Spanish. That's how Colorado in Spanish. Goes to show you how much a person can make an impression on a team, organization, squad, and flight, even in the darkest times. Now, I agree.
It says, former Chief Wright is a great example, as well as Major Guest and Colonel O as well. Both of them have been on the podcast. Check this out. He went on to say Andy Gilbert, some guy named Chief Counsel, don't know who that is. And then, hey, shout out Chief Galt. Hey, Chief Galt, can you send us your address? Like, we need to send you a shirt. For real. So can you send us your address so we can get that to you, man? And that's my fuck up for dropping the ball on that. So if you can DM us, is that what it's called? DM. Send us the goddamn message. And we'll get that to you.
Hey, we're gonna do them like an angry retiree, man. We're gonna send it to the wing address and then wing come.
That's a good one.
We're gonna send it to the wing.
We should do that.
We send it to the wing. Sir, I can't find this chief. We're gonna get him, put him on blast.
But I will say, like he said, the state of Colorado has been inspired as well, right? The whole state, probably not Colorado State, the college, but everywhere else except for that little spot has been inspired as well by what he's done and how he's done it.
Right.
I think it's really cool, and I think two things people will do, right? Conor McGregor said it best. Some people will look at what he's doing and find inspiration. Other people will look at it and start hating on it and be like,
as always.
I'm not.
They're doing it's on both sides right now.
Yeah. Hey, you're welcome, Chief. No, thank you. But
you're welcome, Chief.
But I don't know. Somebody take this one.
And the success has translated more than the football field. Boulder City has made $1 billion because of the games. The Shades same ratings. Prime has revolutionized college football.
Oh yeah. His glasses brand went up like $1 million in a day after the whole the CSU coach calling him out about the Shades. Like, and he's affiliated with that brand. Like, he got $1 million in sales off that brand like in one day. So, he's marketing that state for sure.
But have y'all seen the thing he did with the feedback? He gave his players feedback about how to be 100% in here, but also take the 100% home.
I didn't see that.
Oh man, I would bring it up. It would take me too long, but basically he just said exactly what I said. When you're here, I need you at 100%. But as soon as you walk out these doors, I need you 100% back home. Take care of your home life, whether that's your mom, whether it's your girlfriend, whether it's just you or whatever it is, and take care of that. And if you could do that, we will be successful. And I think, Mike, kind of what you always talk about, your 100% you can't just give 100%. And I think Chief Gilbert said the same thing. Like, you can't just give 100% in one place. If you can't give 100% in both places, you need to figure out where to tailor so you can. But I like what Dion said. I would find it's a YouTube clip that he was talking about his players. He's talking about passing out numbers and stuff like that. But the last thing he said was about feedback. And he said, if you can give me 100% here and also give me 100% back home, we'll be successful. The last thing he said was, if you have more problems than a math book, we can't have you on this team. So if you have more problems and can't associate these problems or can't figure out how to navigate these problems, we'll eliminate you from this team so you can handle those problems.
Yeah.
But I just like both those messages he put out there.
The 100% piece is iffy though. I challenge that a little bit because I would hope and like to think he's saying give 100% of what you have, right? Because what I think we had a conversation way back that if your 100% is always 100% of the time, then 100% becomes average, right? Yeah. That's average. So it's like give 100% of what you got because you might come one day and you got 70%. You might wake up at 70. I ain't got that. So just give me 100% of that 70, right? Or you know what I mean? Because 100% all the time is average, and nobody has 100% all the time. Nobody has it. We all human. Somebody has everybody has a bad day every once in a while, right? So you can't always have that 100%. I could give you 100% of this 70. You know what I mean? But think about it. If you honest, because like I said, you can't be 100% every day. But if you coming in at 70%, give me that. Or give the team that. And then when you are, at a higher percentage, then cool, and you bring that. But definitely give your best on both ends. I would say. Prime time on camera stated he could never coach I've seen that. He could never coach at an NFL level because he can't motivate players who get paid versus collegiate players. I literally seen that yesterday. I think that was interesting too, though. But y'all do this football thing better than me. But what do y'all just think about that statement?
Go ahead, Dale. I'll let you take it first.
I think that makes sense because now, I'm not a professional player, but from a viewer standpoint, I think once the players was able to control these business deals, which they have the right to, but now once they start getting all this money, it seems like they take the foot off the gas a little bit. Whereas in college, they're hungry, they want to get to that level. Some continue to stay on that trajectory and keep grinding and eating. But then once you get to that professional level, it's kind of like rank. Like once you get to the point where you're going to like retire, like why am I going to put in the work? Like I'm already here. Like I'm still gonna get paid the same or more as in like professional sports. So I think that's why he got a platform where he can get young, hungry players to get to where they want to go, and they're gonna have no choice but to put in the work. Because if not, he probably didn't have them off the team.
Think about that, Pete.
I'm gonna read this. Oh, go ahead.
Give your best every day. No one has 100 every day. If it's 65%, give me the best 65, 100 every day. Give me the best 65%. 100 every day is unreasonable and definitely not sustainable. Yeah. Absolutely not.
And that goes back to these 12-hour shifts. But
I sent a picture to our Facebook group. Can you show that? It deals with what we're talking about. What we think 100% is. It's like these circles. You see it?
Yeah,
you can put that up.
It'd take me a good minute to do that.
Why are you getting that up?
Yeah, so I think so. The difference now, and it's interesting he said that. The difference now is you have the NIL, right? And the NIL pays college athletes. So you do have the good athletes getting paid. Mike, I want to throw this back at you while I look this stuff up that Adele just said. So how do we motivate people in the military who do get paid?
You took a question I was getting ready to ask and asked me. Hey, I swear that was my next question. Was like, how do we do that? Yeah. I think it starts with one, respect, right? I think it starts with respect. And then we always talk, you know how big I am with that one. And I say that because regardless of, if people respect you, you can lead them anywhere, right? You can lead them anywhere. They'll follow you anywhere. That's how I feel about it. If people respect you and they feel valued, they'll follow you anywhere. So I think it comes down to that mutually, though, not just how much they respect you, how much they feel like you respect them. So if you go take over a team and everybody making $500 million, in 5 years or 3 years or whatever the case may be, if y'all have that mutual relationship of respect and trust, they ain't gonna care how much. It's not about the money. It's about the person that I'm following and where I know you're gonna lead me to something that's best for me and the people surrounding me. So I transitioned. I switched that to the military. If you establish that mutual respect and make people feel valued, regardless of where they at in the rank system, they're gonna continue to give their all of that, or give their best to that 65, 75, or 100%. And that's just my opinion on it. It's about how you make people feel, and what's the mutual relationship between the two. I don't think it has anything to do with the money or whatever the case may be. That might just be a factor in it. But if you can equate that and establish that and solidify that, they're going to follow you. Yeah. It's when people don't feel valued is when it's like, all right, I'm done with this. You know what I mean? I'm not following this person. I don't want to have anything to do with this because I don't see my value. and there's no mutual respect, regardless of what you're giving them. That's just that's my opinion on it.
Dale, I'm gonna put your thing up real quick. I finally found it. Put it up real quick. There you go, right there.
Where's that?
Oh, you can't see it?
Nah, I say
No.
you just say you're sharing the screen.
What the world? All right, well, never mind, Dale. My fault. I thought
Here, I'll put it
it'd
up
be
on
good.
my. Let me see if I put it on my camera.
Oh, okay, there you go.
All right, so the top is pretty much what it says is what we think, consistent is giving it 100%, but what it actually means is just giving all you can each day, what it actually means. And that's what we're talking about. Like, it's, impossible to give 100%, but as long as you're giving your 100%, it doesn't have to be a measured number. That's pretty much what we're talking about. But a lot of people think you got to get redlined every day.
Yeah, because it's not like I think we had equated it to like driving a car. Like every time I use the example, I always equate it to that. And it's like I don't remember who we had as a guest, and we was talking about the quote, "Don't take your foot off the gas," right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like that's not realistic because the road is going to have turns, the road is going to have bends. You're going to have to yield. You're going to have to do all of this. So if you don't take your foot off the gas on this journey, and you still going 100 miles per hour, never come letting go, you're going to crash, bro, because you got to turn. You got to convert. No race car driver ever keeps their foot on the gas. So that quote is unrealistic, bro. That's why I stopped telling people that don't take your foot off the gas. It's unrealistic. You got to take your foot off the gas sometimes. You're going to burn out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what burnout is. Go ahead, Pete.
Now I got two things I need you to read. Well, one is really, really long, but this is a little bit shorter.
Agree, Mike. Also, trust. It's my belief. Trust and respect go hand in hand and with each other. And when you have both of those, folks will for sure feel value. 100%.
So, and then Nicole said,
Mike stayed with the knowledge drops. Thank you. I appreciate it. I ain't
and
smart,
then last thing, here you go.
Sheesh. Hey, absolutely. No one can give 100 out of 100 all day, every day. Ain't no way without burnout and work-life balance. But giving your all every day, that's what matters. Inspiring folks to give that or to keep retention is tough no matter what career field. But if you truly have inspiring leaders that motivate folks that's to stay in, everyone has a place. Those who choose to be grumpy and miserable all the time, their places elsewhere and not in places where they feel no value. But inspiring leaders create motivated culture. Now, I think she hit a spot on, man. She hit a spot on. It's about that motivation, man, regardless of who they are.
So with that, so what y'all saying is just with this quote that kind of Dion said that he can't motivate players who get paid versus collegiate athletes. I don't think he can't. I think it's easier.
Or he can't motivate them the same. I think that's more accurate. I can't motivate them the same way as NFL players, it's not as easy.
Yeah, because I think man, if you have a starving person and hold some food in front of them, man, you get and do whatever you want to do for a brief period of time for that 1 second. But it's hard. I think the hardest part is the consistency of motivating people. And then, like McDermott said, when people are grumpy or you're dealing with negative people, how that festers to the group.
Right. And the visibility piece to it. To them collegiate players, they see an icon, a legend. They see somebody like, not to say NFL players don't see that, but they like, man, I'm in the NFL just like he was. Collegiate players are like, I'm trying to get to where he was at. You know what I mean? So I need to listen and follow him because he was there and he's showing me how to get there. NFL players like, I'm here. We both, you know what I mean? So you might get some that, this is a legend. I'm rocking with anything that he say versus the college players like, hey, we all looking up at a, God, football God, you know what I mean? In a sense, that's my way of it. It goes back to motivation is first internal versus external. Right.
I don't know about that. I don't know if there's a first, it goes one way or the other because I think everybody's a motivated individual, but you put them in a bad group, an external group, that motivation is going to dwindle. And then if you have somebody that's kind of subpar, but you put them in a very motivated group, that should bump up their motivation or how motivated they are to do things. So like
run that back, run that comment back. I got it.
For sports, if you're on a winning team, it's easy to be motivated because you guys are winning. Now, once y'all start losing, it changes the external. Now, how do you stay motivated? And like, I think what he's saying is it starts with the internal first, I guess, but it's very hard to be motivated when you're around a bunch of, like what McDermott said, a bunch of grumpy ass people. It's very hard.
Yeah. Do you believe?
What you say, Dad?
Do you believe? No, the whole thing, like, do you like when he's asking people, do you like that's internal? I think.
And he also said, Dion also said, and man, I can remember all these quotes now that you're saying this. He also talked about some of your people are not bought in, and he corrected the reporter by saying, "I don't believe that they're bought in. I believe they just don't, or they just don't believe yet, because bought is something that you could pay for, blah blah blah. But once they are believe." Then you'll start seeing the difference.
So that's why I think what Philly just said makes sense, because if you could get somebody to internally, but you gotta digest it and feel like, you know what I mean, internally, I gotta feel like this is it. Like I feel like this is it. It's inspiring me. Now I can externally show or present my motivation. Now I'm gonna act on it. I gotta feel it first. You know what I mean? Right. So internally, I gotta know, what he's saying, he believe in, and I believe in it. Now let me put the pedal to the metal, and let me put my actions behind it. That's how I took what Philly was saying. And I think if you don't believe it internally, first and foremost, you ain't gonna put no action behind it. You gotta know, all right, I think this is gonna work. I gotta know, I gotta pump myself up internally to know this is gonna work. He believe it, she believe it, I believe it. Now I can move on it.
Cool. Dale, I'm gonna let you read this. Well, Mike, read it, and Dale, I want you to answer this one first. We got a lot of comments coming in. First of all, shout out to Todd Simmons, or where's he at? Todd Simmons for being on here. So appreciate the nuggets. Fabian, if you up in here, man, make sure you say something. But it's good to see you if you are up in here. And Mike, here you go. And then Dale, I want you to take this one first.
Look at it like this. When you are a leader in our own spaces, it's easier to motivate and mold your young airmen versus older NCOs that are set in their ways unless the leader has an ability to find their way to push them to be better. Yeah, I can see that.
Dale, what you think?
Go ahead, Dale.
Yeah. I think it's situational depending on the group you got. But as far as like the NCOs, that goes back to knowing your people and what gets them to push or what gets them to run through that wall. If you don't know your people, you're going to have grumpy old people that don't want to work for you as far as like flight chief, like, you know, they're just going to do the bare minimum and go home. But if you have the credibility with your NCOs and your airmen to the point where they respect you, they don't want to let you down. I think that's where it comes to that motivation factor / respect. Like Big Mike was saying, it leads down if you're a respected leader in the flight or wherever you're leading people. So I think it just comes down to situation.
I was just about to say this: inspiring leaders create change.
Yeah.
I agree with both. And I think that's a good example, Nicole. Sorry. But I think it's also like them people gotta. The big piece is too. Them people gotta be susceptible to change, right? They gotta be open and willing to know that only thing permanent in life is change. Mm-hmm. It's the only thing permanent in life is change. You know what I'm saying? So they gotta be grumpy, whatever category you want to put them in. They still gotta be able to understand that and be willing and open to change. Now, when you get, those of us, I'm gonna say us because we in that realm, 19, 20, 23, 24 years. If we not willing to understand that, hey, this is going to be transformation regardless of what we think or what we want, then you can't motivate us, right? Or you can't motivate those people. Soon as they hear something different or I'm going to keep the old way as long as possible, they're going to hinder the organization and they're going to hinder the growth of people. But if they understand, like, okay, yeah, all right, the commander had this policy, now we got a new commander, new policy. All right, is it best for the people or is it to make the organization move further? Then you rock with that. But if they trying to put a barrier and a blockade up to change just because that ain't the way it was for us, then it's time for them to go and they're going to hinder the growth.
Yeah.
I think
I think McCoy's talking about Steve Kerr, like where he got put in an organization where he had, you know, Steph Curry, you know, Klay Thompson. He had an organization where he already had superstars. So all he had to do was just push the team to championship. I think that's what he's talking about. Versus Dion, he's starting from the bottom with like none of his players got accolades like how they have. I think that's what he's talking about.
Oh, okay.
We talking college and NBA, but go ahead, Pete.
No, go ahead and read this real quick, and then I want to hit what Todd Simmons just said. But can you read this one?
Yeah, exactly. For me, I'm currently living it, and I'm the new superintendent in the seat since April. So trying to find that why to make them better is what I'm currently doing.
I don't think there's a way you could rush that. You'll figure it out when it happens. Let me see this thing by Simmons real quick.
People are attracted to what they trust, believe, and most importantly, authenticity. See themselves as, regardless of any perceived success or position that person has. It boils down to, do you really see me? I like that. Do you really see me?
I'm gonna take that. Man, I called him Todd, but I'm gonna take that. Real quick. So the Steve Kerr, Deion Sanders thing, and this goes back to what I said earlier. Did he really inherit a bad team, or did he change the team? Because remember, he brought in 40 new recruits. We can't forget that. It ain't like he took the same Colorado team from last year that was 1-11, and now I'm not taking anything away from him. I'm trying not to take anything away from him. But he's the same thing as Steve Kerr. He is the same thing. So it's easy to inspire people when the team is winning. Now, once the team starts losing, this is when the rubber meets the road. I'm not saying he's a bad coach or anything like that. I'm almost playing devil's advocate is what I feel like I'm doing. We will see then. And I think a couple things, back to Nicole's point, he has a bunch of airmen that he has to motivate, and he's Deion flipping Sanders. So what the Simmons was saying, he has a bunch of credibility already. Like Big Mike said, he's Deion freaking flopping Sanders. Like, even if they play Madden, they know who Deion Sanders is.
Right.
If they ain't never seen him play in person or seen him play or seen YouTube videos or whatever. So it's easy. He has the credibility. He's dealing with a bunch of, what we'll say, airmen. We'll just say pros or NCOs, senior NCOs type thing, if I could just say it like that, so it makes a little more sense. So it might be a little bit easier. When chaos start losing some games, people start getting injured, things like that happen. I'm not wishing this. Then we'll see how easy it is. But it's easy to say the right things, to do the right things and everything like that when you're basically controlling everything. Mike or Dell, if you were able to pick your squad for every organization you worked at, man, it'd be easy because you know who does what on your team.
Not necessarily, but go ahead, finish. Go ahead.
No, I'll finish at that. We have a lot of comments, but go ahead and make your point. We'll get to the comments.
Oh, I would say not necessarily, right? Because if we pick our team, we're gonna pick the best people that we know, right?
Right.
But you still got to deal with personalities. To us, we like, yeah, these are the best of the best. But now, let's say you and I take you and Brown because I know what y'all are capable of, right? Of my opinion. But then I get you and Brown together, and both of y'all want to be the star of the show. So now I got to deal with that. So it ain't always as easy because if you're gonna pick the best of the best, to y'all it's like, oh yeah, we on the same team, but I still got to be the best of this team. So now you still got to maneuver around those personalities, regardless of what we know the skill level is. But go ahead.
So let me get to all these comments. Let me see how I can scroll back up. There we go. What Philly said.
I think prime time is a great example of how you notice talent and persona and pedigree elevate them to a higher state of play. That was gotten for a minute, Philly. I didn't do it on purpose. It can come out. It can come out of anyone if you had a right leader.
I agree. He said Chicago team or change the team. I'm sorry, change the team. Okay. And then what McCoy was saying.
He said, but people still thought they only win 2 games.
I agree with that. And he says, contrary to popular belief, NCAA doesn't actually pick the best. No, they don't. And he didn't pick the best at all. The best is relative. That's exactly what I was about to say without saying as cool as that. Sucks to be you.
Sucks to be you, Mike. He ain't capable of crap.
Damn.
Fire him up.
Damn.
hit the gun. Hit the gun.
5-star players can be shit in college.
Yeah, true. But what he did, you remember Sanders coached these kids when they were fucking kids. They were like teenagers. He was bringing in, some of them. So when you have that, and Mike, to what your point, if you bring me and Dell on, it might be different because we're all pretty much the same. But if you have a section of 3 and you have to get an airman, a junior NCO, and maybe a tech sergeant, and they say, you know what, Big Mike, you could pick whoever you want in the whole entire military. I guarantee you, as soon as I said that, a name popped in your head for each rank.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically what Dion did. They said, hey, recruit whoever you want. We'll bring them here as long as you can get them here, give them whatever they need. Go ahead and do your thing. Now, back to your brilliant point, I'm sure every other coach fucking Alabama could do the same exact thing. But what Dion has is that he coached these guys from kids. So he knew all about them already. All about them. So I think that's the only thing I'm saying is just that it's easy once you pick your squad. And Mike, you're in charge of this team. Dale, you're in charge of your team. And you just got people under you that you got to keep motivating. Let them do their job. That's basically all he's doing. Keeping them motivated. Go be a good receiver. Go be a good quarterback. I'm just going to keep you motivated. Man, I ain't going to say it's easy, but it's easier once you pick your team.
But once you pick that team, you still got to deal with that storming phase.
You do.
Yeah. You still got to deal with that storming phase. You still have to deal, regardless if they 5-star, 4-star, everybody on the team is high rate. You still got to deal with that because regardless of what the relationship you had with them, doesn't mean they had that type of relationship with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you still got to deal with that piece. You still got to maneuver and get them to perform, right? You still got to get to that end result. How many airmen do you know were some shit airmen but eventually became great NCOs and CNCOs? A lot.
Yeah.
You know, a lot.
He said, "No, you don't. You're gonna have to clarify." Yeah. What are you talking? I don't know who you're talking about. We're kind of delayed from what we're saying and hearing to what you guys are responding. So just make sure we can put something like that. You know what?
Tyler. What did Tyler Dack do? What do you mean? No, you don't. To what? No, you don't. To what? Emphasize a little bit for me, please.
Yeah. He said the same thing twice. All right, we're just gonna ignore him. Might be a bot. I'm trying to give him Mike or Dale. Go ahead. I know you've been kind of quiet, so go ahead.
You good? You over there? Got the drum line going on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nick Cannon and shit.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think it's a lot of factors, man. Regardless of one, like I said, them other coaches did anybody stop them? I'm trolling. Keep going.
Hey, appreciate the
sounds about right. Appreciate you still tuning in. Thanks a lot.
Got them views.
But it's a lot of factors. Regardless if you, like you said, you choose the best, they might not even work out because it's the best in your opinion. It's the best in what you see as an individual. It's still going to be those factors to whether or not, hey, can they get together? Like, can I still get them to perform together?
Right.
Because I mean, again, being flight chiefs and flight sergeants, you had superstars on your team, and they're a superstar, but then they get with other superstars, and it's an internal warfare because they trying to outdo each other, and they don't even want to work together because they all want to be the best, but they're looking at it the wrong way. Like instead of looking at it as how can I get on this flight, right, and be the best and be better than everybody else? How can I help this flight be the best, right? Like not what me individually will get out of it. How can we come together and make this organization or this team the best? They all have to be able to see that vision, and not just how can I be the best out of everybody on here? Because at the end of the day, we all got to work together to make this thing move.
Right. Dale, I'm going to ask you, and then Geno Smith is a good example, but he also had intestinal fortitude to keep going because he could have quit a long time ago.
He's been on 10 teams.
Yeah, exactly. Dale, you work with what, 4 people? 5?
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? I guess dealing with their personality, dealing with who's going to eat, who's not going to eat type of thing, or how do you deal with it?
Yeah. I got 4 NCOs under me, and you got NCO the quarter comes around. So who do you put in out of all 4 of them? They're all NCOs. So when so I'm in the hiring process, so we all kind of came together. So we all started together and we're all gonna leave together. But pretty much how we did it, I did open feedback with everybody. I was like, hey, if we want to be a family and not NCOs that point at each other about, he's getting favored over this person, I'm like, hey, we're all going to talk about it when the time comes. We're going to say who's put in the work, who's going to and who's going to get put up. If you ain't going to put in the work and you're mad about so and so's getting put up, hey, if you ain't put in work, I'm not going to put you up for an award just because it's your turn. Like if you're not producing anything, so that's out in the open for everyone to understand. So, and I think we are a close group just because of that understanding. And I think I'm a better leader because of it. Once I get back to security forces, because before we were in a toxic environment where everyone was just mad at the person that was actually doing work because they weren't. But so I think I'm a better leader coming into actual security forces. So. And the question I got, like, oh, you're gonna get put on mids when you get back. I'm like, hey, I'm up for the challenge because I've been out, and it comes down to that leadership. If you're a good leader, you're gonna make that flight a better flight because they say mids is the flight where dirt bags or whatever go. But I'm trying to change that perception because I already know that's where I'm headed. But we'll see what happens.
I challenge that too, man. I don't like that perception. I mean, everybody always we got our own opinion about mid shift, right? But I challenge that when you start talking about a flight sergeant or a flight chief or whatever, section chief, if you have to work a mid shift, because I started to look at it like this. You on a shift where ain't nobody around. Right. You can't unless you disturbing somebody, you calling their phone. You can't walk into the ops soup office. The commander not in his office to throw no question at him. The chief ain't dead. You are the man. You know what I'm saying? Like they trusted you enough to be the man. The base commander ain't there. The wing commander ain't there. The group commander ain't there. When it comes to the situation to be responsible, you are the man or she is the woman. That's a lot of responsibility. You know what I mean? I don't look at it as go to dirtbag, go to night. No, you send the one you trust the most on nights because I got to make that decision. Like, I got a phone call, but on the spot, I got to be the one to make that decision without anybody else being around to help me bear that load other than my team, other than my squad. Right. So I wouldn't look at mids that way. I look at mids as they trust me enough to be the man there, and I got to hold it down.
Yeah. Man. Herman keeps writing these long ones.
She
invested in this topic.
I'm about to get more credits in English reading this right here. A big part with airmen is oftentimes just takes showing them to believe in them that they can be better, do better, etc. But more than Jesus Christ, more often than not, once they get a bad rep, people fall to bias, and environment becomes detrimental to their improvement. They become discouraged buying into what everybody believes or everyone believes, especially if it's, they're just going to keep getting in trouble, etc. Hey, we got to send her. We got to get a show with her in there. She got a lot to say, man. We got to get her on here, man.
Hey, so back to the mids thing, and there might not be all cops in here that work mids, or maybe you don't have to be a cop to work mids, but never worked mids. But mids is a little different, right? And I think what happens, we don't give enough credit to the mids people. And I think that's why you get the stigma of them being dirtbags. They're not actually dirtbags to me.
Right. Dirtbags at all. We all work mids.
Right. Mm-hmm. They just don't get the same love as the people on days do because maybe they don't respond as much to things that day shift has to, with building alarms, accidents, because there's not as many people out there. But when they do, it's usually a lot more serious time constraint things. And like what Big Mike says, on days something happens, man, you could recall 200 people, or not 250 people.
You ain't even got to recall them. Let me interrupt real quick. You ain't even got to recall them. Everybody wanted to throw on their vest and their weapon when something happened in days. Everybody the flight chief on days. Everybody, let me respond. Got that on nights. But go ahead, Pete. My bad.
Yeah, no, you're good. Yo, you're 100% right. So then on mids, try to recall 10 people. Right. And see how long that shit take to recall them. I know everybody says 2 in the morning is a bad time, so I'll just use 2 in the morning. 2 in the morning is a bad time. Try to recall 10 people and see how long it takes for them.
See how long it take them again. Yeah. Everybody and their mother gonna have this. Well, I was drinking just an hour ago. All right, man.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Philly, please elaborate. Please, I wish you were on the show so you could, but don't make it a 10 paragraph.
Wait, ask him who you don't agree with. Who on the Miz piece? Which statement you don't agree?
That's a good point. Yeah.
Then maybe we can narrow it down.
Yeah, I think people on Miz a lot of the time label themselves versus people actually caring. Label themselves as what?
As a.
I think they fall into the. I think what he's saying is they fall into the Miz stigma. Like, oh, they when as soon as you hear Miz, like, oh, they put me on Miz versus I'm going to Miz. You know what I'm saying? The tone of it.
So you don't agree that they don't get the same love as everybody else? Is that what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. They be loners. I don't know, man. I really think it's just like, fuck, man. I hate to use this analogy, but the only one I think of on the top of my head is just like, it's just like the janitor. It's like Miz people are like the janitor. And when I say it like this, let me clarify, is just that if the bathroom is looking pristine, nobody really says, oh man, the janitor did a great job today. But let that bathroom have toilet paper all over the place, a runny sink, maybe crap in the toilet. Everybody gonna be like, where's the janitor at? How come the janitor ain't doing his job? That's the way I think of Miz people. Is that when everything is going good and nobody's getting called in the middle of the night, oh, council just came on. Nobody's getting called in the middle of the night, then it's a lot. Then nobody cares about them. They're almost irrelevant.
Everybody on Miz, you need to look at yourself as Batman. You save the city at night. You the Dark Knight. Because in the daytime, you look at him as Batman. He the vigilante, right? They looking for him. He committed crime, but you saved the day at night. You the Dark Knight. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. Miz hold it down on their own. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody else there. They're the team. And then they also got to face. The Monday morning quarterback. Everybody talk about how they would have did it better, but you wasn't there. You know what I mean? They did what they had to do in that time with the best that they knew how. And if they needed to reach out for guidance, they did. But go ahead, Philly. We see you chiming in. What you got?
Straight audio.
Yo, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
About time. People took you so goddamn long.
First of all, this ain't the corner. This ain't the dang corner. So if you want to come on, you can come on when the show starts. This ain't the corner.
Fall back, fam. Push the brake a little bit, fall back, relax. You see, I gave you a compliment earlier. I said everybody noticed that Pete's vocabulary has gotten better over the past couple of shows. He used the word analogy. I'm impressed.
Probably the best compliment I ever heard. Can you say that so we can continue with the show?
But anyway, I digress. Here's my point about Miz. When you say Miz is forgotten about, is that correct? I want to make sure I got that statement correct. You said Miz is forgotten about and I appreciate it.
They don't get the same love.
Okay, I disagree because I would tell you every unit I have been in, when it comes to stratifications, force distribution, even the enterprise, they usually put their best on mid-shift because to Mike's point, most of the stuff happens on mid-shift. Day shifters, they get what? Traffic stops, they get funds, escorts, gate runners. At night, you get the DUIs, you get the assaults, especially in places like Kadena. And so when it comes down to performance, they usually put their A-listers on mid-shift. Now, when you want to talk about as far as like, they don't normally get the same fanfare at times because they don't get to go to like the top 3 meeting or 5-6 meeting or the beach cleanup or whatever. But they doing work. And 9 times out of 10, if you're on night shift, you're going to end up getting some good training. Whereas day shift is just really busy. Night shift, you may not get as much stuff. But when you do, it's cataclysmic. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to cause for the commander to go see the group or the wing commander for something to happen.
And McDermott said the same thing, right? Chief, I know you probably can't see it, but Chief, Kadena Miz folks were constantly recognized and had top-notch performance. Now, on Miz, at Kadena, I get it because it's a busy base at night. Take a Sleepy Hollow, like, let's say, Bill.
You can say Luke, too.
I'm not going to pick on Luke. But let's say Bill, for an example, where not a lot happens. My boy Sean says saying overseas versus stateside. Overseas nights has a lot of
A-listers. A-listers, not stateside.
A-listers, not stateside. So I think that's what we're talking. That's what I'm talking about, Philly, is stateside.
I disagree. I still disagree because when I was at Holloman, when I was at Luke. I mean, y'all guys had some sharp people at night shift. Did y'all not?
We had our
started
time.
off on night.
Yeah, we had our times. We had. I don't want to talk about it too specifically, but yeah, I'm sure there was times.
Well, my thing is, it's not so much the stuff that happens. Remember, most stuff that happens that affect the base security, it happens at what? At nighttime. The most dangerous place on the base, especially at nighttime, is the installation gate. So even if stuff doesn't happen, what do they say? When stuff doesn't happen, what does that mean? That means you're doing your job, right? Sometimes the base populace look at it as, oh, well, ain't nothing going on. The cops are just sitting out there doing nothing. Where if nothing happens, that's where we make our money. But when stuff do happen, that's when you see the true test of a person's training. I would tell you, at night shift, to Mike's point earlier, you don't have the OPSO or the commander or the chief directing you. It's usually whoever you got. And let's be honest, mid-shift has the least amount of people at night.
Right.
I get you. I get you. I guess we have two different experiences, and I'll just leave it at that. We're gonna let you go because I know you're probably busy, but I appreciate you.
You work for FSS anyway, so
here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Hey,
go over there. Go over there and help some troops flip some burgers. Or
yo, don't be talking about my FSS people, bro. Don't be talking about my FSS people, dog.
Well
hey,
done. You're learning. Good way to defend your people.
Ain't no force
you're learning. Well
support,
done.
You freaking hater.
All right, don't get too excited. I'm giving you a compliment.
When your ID card don't work, don't come in and ask for a new one. God dog it.
Hey, good show, y'all. I'm out, man. I'll get off. Y'all, I'm out. Good show, y'all.
I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Man, that was impromptu, man.
I agree with Chief. Getting to my now, I used to hear good luck getting recognized or standing out as an NCO. The motivation is different, but it's about what you do with it and how you use it. Nah, she right. She right.
Go ahead. McCoy going in on Chief, but go ahead.
Oh, he's talking about Chief. It's about, again, it come back down to the people, man. Like everything we always talk about, be it football, basketball, leadership, Air Force, Army, whatever it is, it come back down to the people, what you believe in, what they believe in, trust, respect, whether or not they feel value, regardless of what you're doing, where you at. You could be working for Apple or working for Google. Like if your team don't feel like it's a team, it's going to fall apart, or people going to slowly drop off. You know what I mean? They're going to slowly not be able to be cohesive or not be cohesive because they don't feel like they're part. It's all about how the people feel, man, and what they believe in,
Yeah.
Yo, Crucial. Hey,
what's up, man? 820th out there.
Scamming again.
Yeah.
Hey, but they firing shots at you. Hey, you probably should put your second chance bets on next time.
Hey, Dale got mine. I ain't got mine.
Oh, yeah. Hey, well, get him a plate carrier. Just tape your plates to your chest or something. Skateboard Pete. Damn. They firing off at you.
Unit for a second, trying to better himself and others.
He said better himself. All right. Man, you do stay in FSS a lot, man, because you was the F-TAC man. Now you back. You the undershirt, the t-shirt, the tank top, whatever you want to call it. You try to jump ship, man. That's what it looked like.
Hey, it is what it is.
Oh yeah, he gonna be on Miz with me.
Hey, definitely.
Make sure y'all take a picture. Make sure y'all take a picture at the gate at night so we can confirm or deny whether or not that's what happened.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know, man. It's just a lot of good conversation today and points. But I will tell you this: you got to be able to motivate these airmen now, man. Airmen and NCOs that has come in a time or generation after us. You always have to motivate, but you have to be able to relate. I'll tell you that.
That's hard, bro.
Yeah, you gotta be able to relate, man. You know what I tell you to find to be effective for me? Now getting back to big flight chief role is telling your story. You know how we always talk about tell your story, telling your story. Because I've had a couple, EB, in my last section, now, having to tell a bit of my story, you know, just so they can understand, like, yeah, you know, he might have been in 2-3 a decade before me or whatever, but he's still human, right? I had to be able to tell, like, don't think I feel like I'm far removed from who y'all are, you know, and where I am, because I just came in before you in the world, in the military. I just came in before you. That don't make me any different from you. You know what I mean? That don't make me any better than you. I just came in this world, in this career, in this organization earlier than you have. But I still have life's problems. I've still had life's problems. And I just was able to try to figure them out and have people around me to help me figure out and maneuver as best as I can and last as long as I did. But you got to be able to relate to them, man. And to any leader out there, tell them your story, right? Don't just try to go with knife hand and tell them what you want from them or what you need from them and not figure out what they need from you or not figure out, you know, where they are in life. Tell your story and make sure they know that you are relative, you know, to them as people.
Yeah.
Exactly, Mike. So they know where you've been and that you are human just like them. Yeah. It's been a journey. It's been a 30-day plus journey, you know, getting back to this flight chief lane. But I would just say I found that to help a lot.
Yeah, I think it does because I mean, even look at it when you were an airman or we were airmen. And look at our leadership. Like, it's almost feel like they just got here. Like, oh man, you got here and you're a mass sergeant. Like you just arrived as a mass sergeant. You don't know their story, and that's all you're thinking. And if they don't tell their story, which a lot of them that I remember never told their story. So so you're just looking at them like, okay, I'm just listening to you basically because I have to, because I don't want to get in no trouble. Right. And that's really it. I'm kind of just like in that cult environment. Whereas if you have a story to tell, even if you never been in trouble, it doesn't have to be a story when you're in trouble, but everybody's dealt through some kind of chaos in their life, some kind of traumatic situation in their life, whether personal or professional, and whether it's your story or you just been around somebody else's story, you've been around it. And so I think those are the important things, is being a leader. Those are the important parts of it, is that making sure that you know those things. And can tell those things, but it's all about timing, right? You can't just walk in day one and just start telling your whole story like you on the dang Oprah show or something. You know, it's all about timing and how much you share and when you do. But what you can't do is let that opportunity pass, because it might only come once. And you just that's where the experience comes in. What Mike said, been in this game a little bit longer, so you should have that experience to know, like, you know what, it's about that time I sit down with my troops because I can't relate to them and tell them that story. And hey, Sean, I know you got that story to tell, man. So hopefully we can get you on here for that. But definitely, man, you just gotta know when the time is and just feel it once it comes. You just gotta be ready to tell your story, and that's it.
100%, man. Like, and you hit a good point with that though, because now that I think about it, not that I can remember everything that far back, 19 years, but I don't really remember any of our leaders telling their story, you know what I mean? Or like some of them we got to know better than we did others. Pete got gems too sometimes. I don't really remember, knowing too many of our flight sergeants or flight chiefs anything personally about it. But we came from a different, we come from a different era. As much as people sometimes might not like, we come from a different era. And I think back then, we were so more relative to each other in those airman ranks. That's what kind of helped us, move forward at that time. But I don't remember a lot of our leaders, showing their human side or telling their human side. It was just, they were a little bit more realer too. Like I don't really, like, again, we was airmen, so I don't really remember seeing what we say we would see now, like, NCOs, everybody out there just trying to promote, and then forgetting about the leadership part, like how we talk about sometimes. Back then, we were too young to even know what that looked like. We wasn't in those rooms. We didn't hear those conversations, or even, I don't remember nothing about no strat or any of that, back then.
Right.
We just knew what we knew. We was told to shut up and color and go. You know what I'm saying? Now, you gotta be ready to explain why, and to a certain extent you should explain why, because regardless of the age, you're still dealing with human beings, man. And it hit me hard when, a couple weeks back, I was telling my daughter about a situation that happened on flight. And she asked me, she said, how old is that person, right? And I said, 19. But then I looked across the counter, I'm talking to my daughter, and they're a year, you know what I mean? They're a year, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, I'm leading my daughter, you know what I mean? Like, what's the difference between being a father and being a flight chief right now? And that's where I'm at with it. My oldest son is older than most people on my flight versus my flight sergeant, my tech sergeant. But I think he older than all of my staff sergeants. You know, so I kind of relate that sometimes to just how would I take care of my kids? How would I lead and guide my kids? How would I motivate my kids? How would I make my kids feel valuable? How would I make my kids, or what respect will I show my kids? I hope they show me to being a flight chief, right? I try to treat them as much, not try to say they are kids because they still adults, you know, young adults, but I try to have that same value or lead with that same passion as I would treat fatherhood, man. But it brings me back a lot, though. Like, I got to remember the age that I'm dealing with.
Yeah, I think the difference is, and you raised your daughter from, of course, when she was born. So she knows you. You're picking up kids who have no idea for the last 19 years. And you don't know how they were raised, how they were influenced, what influences them. You have no idea. And I think that's the tricky part. Is like, you can't, of course, you know this. I'm mainly just talking now, but you can't treat them all equally just because of an age. And that's the hard part. It's like, man, I'm picking up, you guys are both 19. How come your thought processes are like this? You know, and so it's different. I like what McCoy said. We'll get off in a little bit, but
pull your joker when it's needed, not just because it's in your hand. 100%.
Yeah, man, I like that. I put that on t-shirt.
Yeah,
that's a dope quote, man. Yeah, I think as we all are, it seems like a lot of people on the show are watching the show in this leadership position. You have that joker, and you just need to know when to pull it out and not just hold on to it forever. You have to use it. You have to use it. It's like going to spades hand. You get the joker every time. You have to use that shit. You don't always have to wait to the end. You just got to know when to use it. But that's my space thing. Sean, thanks for the stars, man. 99 stars from Sean. So appreciate that, man. Definitely appreciate that. But yeah, man, I think that's about it, man. I think
the number one objective is to be a human being. Start with that first. You can connect with anyone. That is. I mean, it's simple. You know what I'm saying? It's simple. And the people that don't know how to do that or refuse to do that, they have a hard time. They have a hard time, man.
I'll start us off, man. Appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. Appreciate everybody for being on the show. I know it's Super Bowl. It's Sunday football, so I appreciate everybody for taking the time out, whether you're watching in the background, watching us in the front, in the foreground, watching us and watching them, whatever, man. I appreciate y'all for being on here. Unpopular celebrities, man. Well, I'll see y'all next week. Dale, go ahead.
Yep, same thing. Appreciate y'all tuning in on this Sunday. It was an awesome discussion about leadership, stuff like that. As always, if y'all want a topic or something to talk about, please shoot a message if y'all want to get on and talk about a topic. And we'll see y'all next week, same time.
Hey, y'all already know my slogan, man. I appreciate y'all sharing, liking, commenting, joining in, trolling, whatever you're doing out there. Hey, shout out to what was his name? Pterodactyl or whatever. Appreciate you, Pterodactyl, for even seeing us being on here. Tyler Dactyl. Whatever kind of dinosaur you are, you keep being that dinosaur. Nah, man, I appreciate y'all chiming in. McDermott, we appreciate the dictionary you sent us a couple times.
Oh yeah.
Maybe if you want to be a guest, holler at us. Definitely put you on. Because you got perspective. So put on here and just let everybody else know your perspective. But again, keep tuning in, keep supporting the team, keep supporting the family. Enjoy your Sunday, enjoy your week. Establish good relationships. Unpopular celebrities, you already know who it is.
We out of here.
Peace.